Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to get started with Earth Engine image collection. So let's open the browser and then go to the website tutorials.gmap.org to download the notebook example we're going to use in this video. And you can click the image collection menu, then click image collection overview, upper right corner, click the download icon, and you can download this one to your computer. So I'm going to download this one to my documents folder, GE. Just hit save. And after that, you can take a look at this one here. And we are going to use Anaconda. So open start menu. Then Anaconda 3. Anaconda prompt. So all you need to do is just type Conda activate. GE. So the GE is the one that we created in the previous videos. And then just type Jupyter Notebook. It should open something on your browser, and then we can navigate to the folder Documents, GE, and then open the image collection overview. Okay, so this is example we're going to use, and so image collection basically is just a stack of images, especially for time series analysis. You will need an image collection, and so the reason for this is that so you can also go to the Google Earth Engine webpage to take a look at the more information about image collection, but it's actually very simple. So just think about within your computer. You have a folder, and then within your folder you have a bunch of images. Okay, so each image can cover a different area, or it can be acquired in a different day. It's just a bunch of images. One example is the Landsat data. So for the Landsat, we have a couple of satellites. Right now we have Landsat 8, right? So every day Landsat is acquiring images, right? So you will have a bunch of images for the same location, or you can put the entire globe. So within those images, what we want to do is sometimes we want to find out images that cover a specific area, or cover or acquired during a specific time period. And you also you want to find out, for example, the best image with least cloud coverage, something like that. So this is something you can do easily using Google Earth Engine image collection. So it's very powerful. Once you know how to use that, this is how you can actually find out the image you want, right? So because there are a lot of data within the Earth Engine data catalog, but you might only use a small portion, and most likely you want good quality data. So this is how you can find out, filter out the quality data you want. Okay, so first let's import the library, EE and Earth Engine, GMap. Then we create an interactive map. So the next one, what we're going to do in here, we are going to find out use the Landsat 8 imagery. If you don't know the image collection ID, you can click the icon here, upper left corner, and then data. And from here, you can just search any keywords. So I can just type Landsat 8, hit enter. It should show you the list of images, right? So there are a lot of Landsat 8 data, and also derived products. What we are going to use is this one, surface reflectance. So this is one of the common user Landsat image collection. So if you click this one, then you can scroll down. You can also see from here data availability, right, from 2013, and then to the latest one right now, February 15, right? So only 1 or 2 days before. One important thing here you want to know is the image collection ID, right? So this is the Earth Engine snippet. You can also just look at this one. So essentially what you need is this string. So this one represents the image collection ID. Then you can just put within single quotes or double quotes, and then parentheses. Then it become Earth Engine object. So, and then you can use that ones to do filtering. So this one here is the same as the one that in the code block below. You can also just directly hit import. It should automatically create a new line, a new cell block here to generate the source code, so that you can directly just hit run. but we don't want to use the add layer because this is a lot of data. So think about the Landsat 8. It just has too many images, so you don't want to add those images directly to the map. We just want to find a small subset. Okay, so this is the same as this one in here. So it's the same line, and I'm going to delete this one. Then just to show you, for example, once you find out which image you want, you can use Landsat, you can use Sentinel, you can use Modis. All you need to do is just come here and then just search. You can search any data set, any satellite you want. For example, Sentinel. You can have Sentinel 1, 2, or 3, 5P, right? So a lot of products. And this is nice because you don't have to go online to download any data set. You just need to find out the ID, that's it. Okay, so what we want to do, just shift enter, and then you can print out, for example, the size. So this is one of the common one. You want to find out how many images actually are within an image collection. So what we're using here, this one is Landsat 8 survey strip rectangles, right? And if you're trying to apply to find out the images, you just need to use doc size. And again, using Python, you need to use the doc get info to find out the information. So as you can see, 1 million, okay, 85,000 and then all one. So Landsat 8 has more than 1 million images right now. Think about if you need to download this one to your local computer, like 1 million images, it's going to take forever. Okay, so this is nice. Google's engine just allow you access to the entire data catalog. So what right now we know that, okay, Landsat 8 has more than 1 million. And how about I just want to get a thumbnail? I look at just one image, right? Can we do that? Of course. So you can use the collection doc first, right? So this is basically a stack of images. It's a list, right? And we just want to find out the first one. So we can use the doc first to get the first image. And so once you get the first image, we can use the GMap image properties to find out some of the basic information. So you just want to look into one image, see what kind of a metadata and also properties does that have, because all the images within this image collection will share the same properties. So they want to have the same metadata, same attributes. So for example, this first image, right? So this one was acquired at what time? 2014 May 24, right? And you can also see the cloud cover. For example, for each image, it will have a cloud cover property, also cloud cover lane, right? Just the lane portion. You can also see, for example, the quality, also the nominal scale. Nominal scale is also important. It's just a spatial resolution, or sometimes called cell size. And you can see, for example, the satellite is Landsat 8. You can also see the sensor time, and also the pass and roll. Also how many bands, right? So for Landsat 8, you have B1, B all the way to B7, and then 10 and 12. You can also have the system ID. Okay, so each object within the Earth Engine data catalog, they have an ID, right? So this is the first image, so this is the ID. If you notice, the difference between the image collection ID and image is, right? So earlier we used this one is the image collection, okay, and this one is the image ID beneath the collection. So basically it's just a folder. Within the folder you have a file within that folder. So this is the just one image, and this one is a bunch of images, right? So this is why it's called image collection. And you can use this way to quickly look into the image, and then later we're going to use some of the information here to filter, because we can filter by metadata. For example, we just want cloud cover less than let's say 10%, 20%, then you can do that easily. Okay, so once we find out the first image, we might want to add this image to the map. So all we need to do is just add layer, and then for this one, for now we can just skip. So by default, if you don't specify, it's going to use the default settings. So we just add the image, and as you can see, right, we have the image now. And so this one is somewhere near Greenland, and you don't really see much. Most of those are actually cloud and ice, so it's not a lot of details. But again, this is the simple way they can get into just see one image. Next, I'm going to show you how you can filter by date. For example, you have an entire image collection, and Landsat 8 has data from 2013 up to 2021, and sometimes you might want just image for a specific date. For example, if you just want images for the year of 2020, then you can use image collection and then apply the filter date methods. Keep that in mind in Jupyter Notebook. If you have a line that's very long, you want to go to the next line, then you can have this one, the backslash at the end of this line, so it will continue. It's the same as this one. You directly apply this one here, and then you can use all in one line. So you can put them all at one line, but usually it's recommended that you put a backslash, and so make it more readable. So this is the recommended way that you can use to filter the collection by date. And you have two parameters. The first one is the starting date, and the second one is the end date. You can click the link here to look at more information about this function. So the first one here is the start date. This one is inclusive. The end date is exclusive. So if you really want to filter, for example, 2020, you probably you want to 2021 and then January 1st. So in this way, you will get the images for the entire year. And let's take a look at this one. Once you get the collection, you can use the doc size to get how many images, for example, were acquired in 2020 for the entire year. As you can see from the number here, 135,000 images. So compared to this one, over 1 million images. Okay, so this is how we can filter by date. Similarly, we can look into the just first image within the sub collection. So now this image has 1,035,000, and we can look at the first image and take a look at it's very similar, still near Greenland, but this is the image that's different from the first one that we get, right? So you can see from this one in here. You can also use the inspector to click here to look at the values, right? So you can see the first image, and this is the second image, but this one is in 2020. The first image was I believe in 2014. So okay, so this is how you can filter by date. Similarly, sometimes you might want to filter image by location. So let's say depends on your location or the region of interest. I want to look at, let's say, images for California, California, San Francisco. So how can we actually retrieve all the images for this specific location? What you need to do is to define an ROI. So the ROI can be a point, it can be a polygon, it can be a line. So you can define whatever you want. It can also be a circle. And then once you define the ROI, it can be, so in this case, we are going to use a point. So e.geometry.point, and then just execute. Similarly, we are going to use the Landsat 8, and we already filter, for example, 2020. Now we can add another filter. So this one is called filter bounds. So filter bounds basically filter by location, and then you can pass in your ROI. So within your ROI, again, you can click this one to look at the information. So image.filter bounds is basically what you need to do is pass in a geometry. So the geometry can be point, can be line, can be polygon. And in this case, this point is around the San Francisco Bay Area. And if you don't know the coordinates, you can click the identity button and then click on the map here. Upper right corner here, you should be able to see the image, and so you'll be longitude and latitude. So you can then copy, just select this here, Control C, and then you can paste in here. So you should be able to get the coordinates. Once you have this one, you can pass this one to the filter bounds. So that right now, what we are trying to do here is to get all the images from 2020 that cover this specific area. So then we can use similarly to see how many images, right? So now you can see we narrow down from 135,000 images to 21. So it means Landsat 8 in 2020 has 21 images for this region, for this area. you can change the coordinates to any other location. The number might vary, but most likely you're going to get 20 to 35 images, because Landsat has the revisit frequency of 16 days. So every month you have 1 to 2 images, and 12 months you're going to have 24. So you're going to get from 12 to 24 images, right? So maximum you can get is every month you get 2 images. So you're going to get somewhere 20 to 24. Once we have this 21 images for 2020, we can similarly get the first image. You can still apply the doc first, but this time we are going to visualize. So we can pass in some parameters to visualize, and let's take a look. So run. Okay, so this is the first image, right? So within those 21 images covering the area, and this one is not very good because you can see a lot of clouds in here. But we can also, I will show you shortly how to filter. For example, you want to select the least cloud coverage image. You can also do that as well. Okay, so next, move to the next one, filter by metadata. So earlier we filter by date, by location, and also by, next I'm going to filter by data. Let me see in here. Let me show you maybe one more thing, because we only use point, right? But we can also filter by polygon. So for example, I'm going to filter maybe somewhere near Las Vegas. You can also draw a rectangle on the map, right? So it's going to find out all the images intersecting this area. So once you draw the rectangle, how do you know, like how do you get the geometry? It's actually very simple. You can come back to here, and then let me maybe add another cell. And another cell beneath. So I'm going to use B. So from here you can just type map.user ROI. Once you draw the rectangle, if you type user.ROI, it's going to show you this is a polygon. And then you can also use .getInfo if you want to get more specific about the polygon. So this is 5 coordinates, right? Basically this one is the ROI. So similarly you can just ROI equal to this one. You don't need to use .getInfo if you just want to acquire the ROI, right? And then once you have this one, you can similarly just copy this code block in here and just paste in here. Within here is the same ROI, or you can just copy map.user ROI and put in the, within here. It's the same. And now we can just collection size get info, shift enter. 230 images, right? So as you can see, because we has a polygon, so it's much larger, and you're getting a lot more images in here. So that's normal. Similar to a rectangle, you can also draw a polygon if you want, right? So I can draw a polygon in here, and double click once you're finished. So right now this is the polygon, and again, if you can run this one more time, it's going to get the new ROI, and we can run this one and look at the difference. Now you have 246 images for this reason. So this is how you can filter by location. You can also filter by, for example, for specific state or country. All you need to do is just to figure out the feature collection. Then you can filter just passing the country boundary in here. You should be able to get all the images. Okay, so that's how you filter by location. Next one, we are going to talk about how to filter by metadata. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes images might have a lot of clouds. If you just want to have good quality image with less cloud coverage, you can use the filter metadata. So you can click the link here to look at more information. Within this function, you need to pass in 3 parameters. The first one is the name, basically the attribute, the property. The second one is operator. So less than, equal than, greater than. For example, we want cloud cover less than 10%. Okay, so you can use this one, less than, in here, and also the value. You can also look at the example. So here shows you somebody example, and let's come back here. We can just execute. But so again, we filter by date, right? And then filter by geometry. After filter by geometry, we add another one. So basically it's just like a a series of operations. So you apply one on the other, and every time you're going to get a new narrow down until you get what you want, right? So the last one here, second last one, is filter by metadata and then cloud cover. As you can see from the early example, Landsat 8 has an image property called lane cover. So if you scroll up in here, right, cloud cover, and then 88.55. So the cloud cover is from 1 to 100, so 0 to 100. So it's 100%. So this one means 88% will cover by cloud. So what we want in this case, we want good quality image. We want the cloud cover to be less than 10 means 10%. Once you get all these images, we can also do the sorting, right? So you can sort by cloud cover, or you can sort by any other properties you want. So we're going to sort by cloud cover. By default, it's going to be ascending. Ascending means a smaller number at the beginning and larger number at the end. So in this way, we get the base image is the first one. Okay, so once you get the base image, then we can use the collection doc first. So the first image is actually the base image, and then we can take a look, see if it is indeed the base image. Okay, so this is the result. You probably noticed that this is a very good quality image. There's no cloud basically in here, and it's a nice one. You can click, you can change this one to look. You can also change the visualization. So for example, I might change to maybe 654 to the another first color composite, but it's similar to the natural color, right? It might be the gamma might be too high. We can change slightly. You can also change this one to be a larger number. Right, so this gives you a lot of way that you can visualize the data. You can also click here to look at the pixel values, right? And if you want to get the image property, again, you can use the image props to get all the information. So for this one, look at here, the lane cover is only 7, cloud cover is only 7%. So it's a much better image. And what's the date of the image? 2020 October 12th. So you can also get the date. You can get all kind of metadata information from here. You can also get the band names, B1 all the way to B7, and then 10, 11. So this is how you can filter. You can narrow down, filter by location, filter by date, and then also filter by metadata. At the end, you should be able to get the images that you want, right? So you can, in this way, you don't need to be overwhelmed by the entire collection, like more than 1 million. So in this case, you only get like 10 or 20 images. It's much more manageable. Lastly, I'm going to show you some of these things that you can get, metadata you can get from an image collection, or sometimes called properties. Like I said in here, each image has this kind of properties, but sometimes if you once you get the collection, the image collection, you might want to get, let's say, the average cloud cover. For example, for all the images, how much cloud cover is that on average, right? So this one is 7%, but the other image might not be 7%. But you want to see, for example, the number. You can also get all the dates, right? So you want all the dates for this image collection for your specific area. You can also do that as well. And we're going to use the same example. We're going to use let's say 8 from 2020 in year 2020, and then we're going to filter by in the San Francisco area, also filter by cloud cover. So we only get images with cloud cover less than 10%. So that once we have this image collection, so we can use this function called aggregate array. Aggregate array basically means that we want to get all the values for that specific property for all the images, right? So once you aggregate array, this one can be anything. It can be any properties from here, cloud cover, or anything within this single quotes. That's the property. So you can apply this one, so-called aggregate array. Then you should be able to get all the values, right? In this case, we have 6 images in here. So the first one is 0.55. That means it's less than 1% cloud cover. So there's a nice image. And then 0.486, it's not 46%, it's less than 1%, so 0.486%, because the numerator is 100. And so these are all the numbers. You can also get all the system ID, right? So for example, this is the unique ID for that specific image. we have 6 images in here. We can get all the system ID, and as you can see, right, you can get this easily. Then you might be able to use this one to do photo processing, but just give you an easy way to get all the information from the image collection. So for example, this is 2020 March 2nd, April 3rd, and June 6th, right? So you can get all the dates. You can also save this one to a computer, then you can maybe use that for other analysis. Lastly, I'm going to show you here, besides getting all the values, you can also get to some simple statistics. For example, you want to find out, let's say, within these images, what's the average cloud cover. So you can just use aggregate mean and then the name of the property. You should be able to get the mean value. So right, so the mean cloud cover is 1.8% for these 6 images. Besides the aggregate mean, you can also, there are a lot of other things you can do. So collection doc, if you type aggregate and then hit tab, here I'm going to show you here a bunch of other methods. So you can aggregate by count, aggregate by maximum or minimum, right? So for example, I can just aggregate, let's say minimum, and we can do the same thing here. Just copy this portion, put in here, alt enter, like 0.07. So the least cloud coverage image has 0.07. So actually it's this one, right? So in this way you can quickly get some basic statistics about the images. This is something similar to if you use ArcGIS or QGIS, right? Basically in a spreadsheet attribute table, you open the attribute table, and then each column basically is one property in here, and then you basically right click to get some summary statistics about that column. It can be mean, maximum, mean, or standard deviation, or sometimes even median, right? So this is how you can get some basic information out of image collection. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I hope you now know how to find the images and then how to filter by date, by location, and by metadata, so they can get the images that meet your requirement, and then you can use that to do further analysis. So in the next video, I'm going to show you more about image collection, how you can create some mosaic, how you can, for example, get the index of a certain image, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, take care. Bye bye.